You're listening to Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Bucklar, and today I'm joined by Dominique Hes. Now, Dominique's joining us from the Thrive Research Hub at the University of Melbourne, and I have to admit, Dominique, that's not a name that immediately tells me what it's all about, so do tell us what it is you do.
So here at the Thrive Research Hub, we specialise in research that leads to supporting industry and community to be healthier and more sustainable. Mm-hmm. So we do research with partners on real projects such as this one where we're really giving people the ability to connect the health benefits of plants with their daily lives. Okay,
so that's, I guess, one of those research projects where my grandmother would say, well, of course, everyone knows that.
That's right.
Just how hard is it to prove something like that?
Well, there are many, many types of plants and there are many types of spaces, and we have lots of different things happening in all of those spaces. So there is a lot out there on, different plant species. They've tested them with absorbing different types of, say, benzene or other emissions or particulates, dust and so forth, or pollens. And so there's lots of research, but it tends to be piecemeal. It tends to be one plant and one type of emission. Or it tends to be very specific, like NASA did research on, spaceships and astronauts and their well-being and plants. So bringing all of that together into something useful and practical for the everyday person was the challenge.
So it's a lot more complex than putting a pot plant on your office desk. Who benefits from plant life balance? Who gets the benefit here?
So the app and the research are free. So you can download from the website the simplified research report, and you can download the app for free, and you can use it to analyse your own space and drag and drop different plants that you like and see what benefits. So that's all free, and it benefits whoever's using it. And whether you're at home or at school or in the office or in a hospital, there are benefits shown in the research for all of those. But this app's specifically aimed for your apartment, your lounge room in your home, for your living areas. And the other beneficiary, obviously, this was funded by Hort Innovation and the Nursery and Garden Industry Australia, and they sell more plants, so it benefits them.
Dominique, many of our listeners are health professionals, and the majority are either in acute care in hospitals or in aged care. Why is the plant life balance research relevant to them, do you think?
So actually, the majority of the research on the benefits of connecting people to plants is from hospitals, schools and offices, and a great deal of it is looking at people's well-being, and particularly in hospitals. If people have views out windows or have plants around them, then their use of painkillers goes down, they recover quicker, and that's because they're less stressed. Often stress is a huge compounder to any issues that we have, and if you think about where we evolved as humans, we evolved in nature, and it's only really the last 200 years that we're spending most of our time indoors. And so our brain is much more relaxed and at ease when we're connected to nature. And when it's relaxed and at ease, then we get over things better, we can communicate better, we can deal with issues better. We don't get so stressed and all of those issues that make things worse. And I can throw some references at you, but I'm sure that you'll find without them.
We'll let people download those later.
That's right.
You're listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm in conversation with Dominique Hes, Senior Lecturer in Sustainable Architecture at the University of Melbourne. Dominique has degrees in Botany, Engineering and Architecture, and is the Director of the Thrive Research Hub at the University of Melbourne. And we're in conversation about some fascinating research we're doing about plant life balance. Dominique, why did you undertake this research?
So I've been teaching the importance of connecting people to nature for over 2 decades now. And so the opportunity to do a piece of work that brought all of this disparate research together and made it incredibly accessible was just too good an opportunity to go past. I really love the ability to communicate things simply and effectively.
And why do you see it being so important to connect greenery into people's lives?
Well, there's just a recent report out of the US which showed that they looked at the metadata of over 100,000 women, and those that lived 300 metres and less closer to green spaces were lived for up to 12 years longer. Wow. So stuff like that is amazing, to know just that impact that nature can have on us. And, within the home, there are so many opportunities to just live happier, healthier lives by connecting us to the plants. It has indoor air quality benefits, absorbs toxins and particulates and so forth from the air, and then it has well-being benefits, which is that biophilia I mentioned before, where when we connect to nature, we are more relaxed, we're more intuitive. It's like having a good night's sleep.
You've inspired me now to throw out my plastic plants from the studio and put in some real ones, I think.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because a plastic plant is better than no plant.
Really?
But a real plant will trump a plastic plant.
Yeah.
And a collection of plants will trump a single plant. So, we have this lovely hierarchy that we've developed through the research. I can read it for you. So a plant is better than a picture of a plant is better than a green-coloured wall or nature-like paint is better than nothing. More plants is better than fewer plants. Diversity is better than less diversity. Green is better than other colours, and flowers are better than no flowers. So that all comes from the research.
I might have to move the studio into the greenhouse, I think. It is interesting that in our office and our studios we prohibit plants because of the risk of damage from the water when they're being watered. So it is interesting that there's real and scientific evidence that we ought to take the risk. Well,
and if you don't, then at least throw some plastic ones in there.
Yeah.
Or some beautiful images of nature.
Yeah, it's interesting research. Now, what do you think is the biggest misconception the public has about urban greening and the things that keep you awake and drive you crazy?
Well, for the house, so the number of people and the number of interviews I've done where we've had callers come in and said, but I'm not a green thumb. I kill anything I touch. And that drives me crazy because, we didn't learn to cook the first time we tried. We didn't learn to ride a bike the first time we tried, yet we expect to be able to keep a plant alive for the first time we try. But then there are sort of plants that you can pick that are very hard to kill, that are excellent for air quality, like mother-in-law's tongue or a peace lily or the weeping fig. These are all great air quality and well-being plants that also are good for those of us that feel that we aren't good at keeping plants alive. So that would be the sort of indoor main misconception that drives me crazy.
Well, we hope we've reached some green thumbs today, Dominique. For people who are fascinated and want to get in touch with you, or indeed want to download the app, give us the addresses where people can get it from and how they can reach out to you.
So they can contact me directly at the Thrive Research Hub, but also if they just type in a Google search Plant Life Balance, it will come up with the website. If they want to download the app, it's available in the app stores for all of the various types of phones. So it's very accessible. There were a couple of other things I wanted to mention which you might not have expected that we found from the research. And one of those is that accessibility to green space is correlated with a lower obesity index. So I thought that might be of interest to some of your listeners.
To lots of our listeners, yes.
That was a 2007 study by Niels and Hansen. And the other bit that I thought might fascinate you is that what we've found is that it's not just the plant that's important, but it's actually the size of the pot and the health of the soil that the plant is in. It kind of makes sense because, our health is determined by how well the bacteria in our gut work.
Yes.
And for a plant, that bacteria is in its root system. It's in the connection between the soil and the plant where it gets its nutrients and so forth. And so better soil, better quality, bigger pots for your plants is actually equates to more absorption of pollutants from the air.
Fascinating work, Dominique. Thanks for your time today. I appreciate that you've been busy with your promotion here, and it's been good to have a chat with you.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
I've been in conversation with Dominique Hes, Senior Lecturer in Sustainable Architecture at the University of Melbourne, and we've been talking about her work and, in fact, the app that goes with it on Plant Life Balance, and you can find that just by Googling Plant Life Balance. If you've missed my conversation, you've missed a really intriguing piece of research, but the good news is on our website we have a transcript. You can also listen to the audio archive on iTunes, SoundCloud or YouTube. This is Health Professional Radio. My name is Wayne Bucklar.